Yeah. Sit and have a conversation. We're gonna take you to court right now, Zain.
Be back.
Yeah, you're right.
Last time I came here, there was no AC.
Damn.
Tough.
See, then Villanueva comes in. It was AC, it's a whole media production going on. It's raining, it's Surge. Hello, everyone. My name is Rob Villanueva, the CEO of Progress Surge Realty, and I am here with my main man, Zain Momin. Zain, introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are.
My name is Zain. I am the founder and CEO of the Atlas Group, team lead and an agent here at Surge Realty.
Ooh, there you have it. So I'm gonna go right to it. First question. What made you get into real estate? What made you, just get your license, at such a young age?
Yeah. No, so it's actually funny. I got my license without actually wanting to practice real estate for other people.
Of course you would have.
Yeah, I mean, the way it all started is I graduated. I started working a nice corporate job, pension.
At what age?
Right out of college, like 21, 22.
Yep.
Had a nice job here in Houston in oil and gas.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was setting up 401ks and all that good stuff. And I knew at that time I really wanted to invest in real estate. I didn't want to do stocks or 401k.
But why?
I don't know. I think real estate is just, I always thought that it outperformed every other asset class. The passive income in it, I thought would be better. The tax advantages were always great. This is something I was studying even at UT. Never thought from a sales standpoint, strictly it was from an investment standpoint. Just, hey, I'm going to work this job. I'm going to, climb up the ranks. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to take my income and invest in real estate. And then one day I can retire off the real estate, right? I feel like a lot of people think that, so I was no different. I did the same exact thing. I was like, I'm gonna buy real estate and I'm gonna let it retire me. So
that's awesome for you to think like that.
Yeah.
At a young age. I'm 41, and honestly, I got into real estate when I was 35, 36. So so yeah. So it's like, for me to hear that is like, it's so inspiring, and not only the young folks watching this, is you was thinking like that at a different age, and you're heading towards a direction where it's like, it's gonna happen.
Right, yeah.
You are gonna retire.
I love investing, and I tell people that, right? And that's why, how everything started. And I think the first thing you need to do if you want to invest in real estate is you got to find a deal. So the first thing was, well, I don't know how. Let me look for real estate agents in Houston that can help me, do that. And honestly, I just had trouble. At this time, I had a business partner who also worked at the same job at ConocoPhillips where I was working at.
Yep.
And he could flip a little bit. Like, he was in construction, so I felt good. Like, hey, if I partner up with this guy, I don't know anything about construction. I have a lot of time on my hands. I'm young, so I can go.
When you say young, how young?
I was 21, 22. I was 22 at the time, yeah. So, basically we were looking for agents, but we couldn't get the investor-friendly agent, right? We couldn't find one that we really vibe with, so we're kind of doing everything on our own. COVID hit, and at that time, our workload dropped, and I was like, hey, this is the time. Why don't I just go and get my license, right? And I don't know why, I also thought I was gonna learn a lot about real estate getting my license, right? So I don't doubt, if people, it's funny, you don't really learn much about real estate while you're trying to get your license. So that was kind of a bummer. But I was under the impression, if I'm get my license, I'm gonna learn so much about real estate, but that just wasn't the case. I learned all of it outside on my own, on boots on the ground. So I got my license, and that's kind of how things started. Again, that was strictly for me and him looking for deals. I just started posting it on my social just to show people that, hey, this is what I'm doing. But I never thought in a million years people also cared about real estate, especially my age, younger. And that's the most impressive thing. There's a lot of people out there that do actually want to invest in real estate, and they just were also missing that person. Yeah. And that kind of just led to investing, and then also first-time home buyers, selling properties, getting really good at marketing. It all kind of just waterfalled from there. But initially got in because I wanted to buy real estate, couldn't find someone that could help me, so I had to learn it myself.
So was there anybody in your household or family member, friend, growing up as a kid that was doing real estate that you was like, that you could go to and ask for advice?
They were too ahead, if anything. They were doing commercial, things that were way too like at the end of the day, I was just graduated, right? Like I wasn't looking to buy a 200 unit apartment complex. I had like 15 grand to my name, right? I'm just trying to get into one door, right? So from a small scale, no, not really. A lot of podcast listening, pro member at Bigger Pockets, all that good stuff. I kept a good network from there, and like I said, I had my business partner Arturo at the time. So he had that construction side down, right? Because if you gave me a fix and flip, I would cry. I wouldn't know how to do it. So, leveraging people, but also giving them something back. So what I had was time, right? I was young at the time. He had kids. I had no kids. He had a wife. I didn't. I mean, like I had a lot of time. So I used that to my advantage, right? I could spend hours on hours looking for deals. I can work the day job and, that's so much energy, right? So. There's always something you can bring to the table, right? If somebody has a lot of money, maybe you have a lot of time. And if you don't have time or money, maybe you have a skill. So there's something you can do. You're trying to build, a dream team, basically. So that's kind of how it started.
So what is your favorite part about real estate, you would say? If you had to pick one thing, but just narrow it down to one
thing.
Obviously helping people, we get it. The paychecks is good too, we can't lie.
Yeah, that's all bad.
But what is one thing that you would say that you love about real estate? Is it the hunting part? Like,
it would be the deal hunting, right? Because everyone always says like, oh, I can't find any good deals, right? But sometimes people don't understand deals are made, right?
Damn, say that again. That's a gem. We dropping gems here. Go
100 people will look at a deal and skip over it, right? Because it was not a good deal, but they didn't make the phone call, right? You can take an okay deal, but you can combine it with great financing, right? Like I've seen a deal I'm working on today, right? Not that good of a deal, but seller is 65, house is paid off, is willing to owner finance at 10% down and 6% interest rate, right?
Nice.
So you took a deal that's not that good, and now it looks like a pretty solid deal, right? So people always think that I can't find good deals, but they don't understand it. There's a way to structure deals. They're only looking at it from one way, right? You'll see there's covered land plays. There's so much, right? And you can get really advanced, into if it's investing, but even if you're helping out a buyer buy their first home, right? There are ways to structure deals that most agents, I feel like, they're just trying to close it really fast, right? I get really into it, right? I guess sometimes I feel like I get more into it than my clients. Like, they're just like, oh, I'm fine with it. I'm like, no, I'm gonna squeeze where I can squeeze, because I'm like, I'm competitive in that sense. I want to,
that's awesome.
I want to get the best deal.
And that's awesome to bring that to the table for your clients, for your investors, even for yourself. Because like you said, it's just squeezing and finding that deal to make it happen. And then voila, 10, 15, 20 years from now, people will be like, damn, like, how do you make this happen? And then the rest is history from there. What is your biggest pet peeve in real estate? Like, it's something you see that, whether it's a client, an agent, a vendor, what is a pet peeve?
I was probably saying on the agency side, education. Right. I'm sorry. It's just, and it's not anyone's fault, right? Because like I said, you go through the curriculum, you don't really learn anything. I hung my license, with one of these brokerages when I first got out, and I thought I was gonna learn all this about real estate, and they threw a bunch of scripts at me. They're like, this is how you sell.
Like you're a robot.
Yeah, and I was like, man, I didn't do all this to role play and do script. I'm not saying sales isn't important and scripts aren't important. There's a time and place for all that, but my honest opinion is if you educate yourself in whatever, let's say you're hosting an open house, I've seen people in open houses who don't even know the product that they're hosting an open house for. So I'm not talking you need 30 hours of education, just come prepared, right? So that way when you face a client or you face a potential buyer or seller, you know what you're talking about, right? And you're able to actually guide them, and you're not just trying to be, you don't want to be a car, you don't want to be a salesperson, right? You don't only want to do that, right? Now, talking well, all that good stuff is really important, but people can tell when you don't know what you're talking about. And
if they don't, they'll go somewhere else.
Yeah, they'll go somewhere else. And, if they see that, wow, this guy's really even if it has nothing to do with your transaction, they'll remember you. They're like, man, and then they'll just hit you up organically. And then I feel like that's how you want to build a business, right? Through, hey, I'm out here, I'm working really hard, I'm educating myself. And if you're interested, I'm more than willing to help you, right? It's just like that in my.
So, well, obviously you having the knowledge and the resource, is your business now more referral based, or are you hunting for new clients, or is it word of mouth?
Referral. I would say it's very referral based because I always say there's no secret. If you hit it out of the park for one client, they're gonna remember that. They're gonna go tell other clients, and then the business just keeps going that way. And then obviously through a lot of social media stuff, right?
Social media, the blue tape, inspection, closing.
I mean, if you see media all the time of, you know, someone posting about different properties and you're selling something, you're going to be like, well, this person's always marketing whatever is his, right? Whatever his listings, let me go ahead and give it to him, right?
Yeah.
And he's clearly educated. He gets what, you know, he knows what to do at a certain point. So, you know, that's kind of how.
And then social media is a platform where you can showcase, you know, your knowledge, the resources, the actual deals you're closing. They can
right.
see it.
And you're not bothering them every day. Right? You're not texting them, hey, you need to buy it. Exactly.
Now you even selling your business.
They're just watching, and then when they're ready, they're gonna think. Your goal is to associate. When they think of real estate, they should think of you, and then they'll hit you up when they're ready, because you reaching out to everybody and texting them every week, hey, you ready to buy? Like that's just. I would hate to get that text. I would ignore it myself. So I just go and, you know, show off what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, because some people are genuinely curious, right? Like, oh, that development's happening, cool. And then whenever they're ready, they'll reach.
But I'm gonna hit you a curveball now. So you show what you've been doing, but how, as a new agent, let's say you got your license,
right?
Like, how can you show if you're new, right? You haven't closed no deals. So, like, what did you do to get that going, to get you to where you're at now?
Yeah, so like I said, I was looking for like investment properties and looking for like helping first time.
You're doing your own deals and
posting on stories, right? Like, hey, like new construction. And this is when COVID just hit. Rates were low. I was showing the breakdown, like 2% at the time. Right? And then I got myself into, right? I bought a property and I was doing Airbnb. And I was like just sharing my Airbnb calendar. Like I was just super like, I'm passionate. I was passionate about it. I thought maybe even if 1 or 2 people care, then great. I just was shocked that so many people cared, right? Like I didn't think anyone else.
So at that point, you saw kind of blood, and you kept going.
Right. And then I just said, you know what? Let's go full fledged. Right. I would never actually thought I would like be helping like primary and all that. And then I said, let me start doing that. And then I started noticing, well, people aren't even marketing that well. Why don't I start? You know, then I started spending a lot of money. I think you have to spend money to make money.
Oh, for sure.
Spend a lot more money on media, we targeted ads, all that stuff we would start doing, and I would just play around with it, right? And I thought, man, there's this many agents in this industry, but there's still a lot. You know, there's a lot to do here that people haven't touched, right? There's so much. People are just doing the same thing and just hoping that it works. And I was like, I have nothing to lose, you know? And I think that then I quit my job pretty early on from there. So I really was like, I have to make this work now. Yeah. I gave up a pretty nice paying job, really comfortable job, you know, own office, all that. So, you know, I had people telling me, what are you doing? Like, don't you went 4 years in school to do this? Like, are you really going to give up to be a realtor, you know? Right. Like, that's just, you know. And I was like, you know what? I think I can do this. You know, I think that there is another level of real estate than people haven't seen. And like I said, the worst case scenario, I still love investing. So
we don't dabble into that now, which is awesome. You know, talk about you. Like, what are you doing right now? Like, you're doing residential. I see you also. You dropped a cool commercial video.
Oh yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah, so I do both residential and commercial, right? I probably say I do more residential. I think commercial is very vague, right? There's, you know, retail, multifamily, industrial. So I won't, like, if someone comes and I'm looking for a hotel in X region, I'll probably pass that lead on, right? Because at the end of the day, if I don't think I'm the best at it, I'm not going to do it, right? But I still... not really, honestly, on those things. It's like, because I know they're going to be a lot of work, right?
Yeah, that's
so
true.
It's like,
that's true.
You know, you're probably not going to end up getting anything out of this anyway. So, yeah, my thing was just like, now I love development, right? So on a residential side, we were partnering up with a lot of builders, right? I understand from a pro forma standpoint how development works. I know where the numbers need to be to make certain projects make money. So my thing is, you know, instead of just selling at the end, I want to be that guiding piece from start to finish, right? Before you acquire the land to when you finish it, all the marketing in between. So working one-on-one with a lot of developers, you know, commercial and residential, more on the residential side. But like I said, we just started some luxury office condos in Sugar Land. So
put that plug in there.
Yeah, no, we're very excited. That's over 70% sold out, or prior to even commencing construction.
That's what I'm talking about.
So, but yeah, I mean, that's that. And then again, I'm still working on with my one-off clients that come, you know, through referral base, helping them out. But, you know, that's me individually, what I'm doing. And then my other big focus has been, you know, Atlas. Right?
Atlas, talk about the Atlas group. How'd that happen? At what point of your real estate industry career you was like, I'm gonna start a team, right? Because it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not.
Just got overwhelmed, man. At one point, like, I was working crazy hours, and it was just more than that. It was the driving, right? Like, you can't be in 10 places at once. It's getting overwhelmed. My biggest fear was I didn't want to ever lose the quality of work. So I actually prematurely jumped into it because I was just so afraid that, you know, if a client thinks my work is at this level and now it's going to start dropping because I'm getting busy, I wouldn't let that happen. So I quickly, you know, jumped into it. At the time, I was good friends with Ta, you know.
Shout out to Ta.
Yeah, so he was doing a lot of my back end stuff already before we were at different brokerages. And, you know, we were still doing it because I'm like, yo, I need to help on this. Like, I can't take this on right now. And I trusted him, right? Because we had actually met through a deal together, and I liked the way he carried himself. And, you know, we just stayed close. So I didn't want to give it off to think about referring it off, and someone doesn't do a good job. It comes back and it looks like it was on you. So I started doing that, and then, you know, once I got with Surge, I was like, this is a great place. Now I have a home where the brokerage side is fine. Let's go. And now I can build a niche team that can help, you know, cover the stuff that I'm working on. But then from there we can expand, right? And just in, like, you know, over a year now, we're doing so many leases, new construction, we have, you know, new communities now. On the commercial side, we're doing things. So, I mean, now it's just been full focus on how can we grow this, right? I think a team is better to grow rather than one person. So full focus has been on building the best real estate company now, right? So we even do property management. I haven't really announced it. It's in demo mode, but we're doing over 25 doors right now. So, you know, I have 2 other partners in that. So, like, that's another thing about me. There's a lot of people who try to do everything. The jack of all trades, master of none, right? You've heard that saying. So my thing is, anything I do, I always put a good operator with it, right? So, like, again, COO, why? Because if I'm super busy doing all these things, someone's got to make sure the operations are doing well. Same thing with property management, same thing with development, same thing with the properties I own. Like, everything you got to structure it correctly, because you'll get burnt out, and it's not, you know, it's not the best use of your time then if you're trying to do everything. So right now I'm trying to learn to delegate more, because I am really hands-on.
How hard it is?
It's hard because, you know, you're in a client-focused business, right? So if someone messes up, you are still the one to get blamed, and you've built that relationship. You don't want to lose it. So, you know, it's hard, and that's why it goes back to training and education, right? So you train well, you educate well, you do it over and over again, and then usually people will catch on, right? You can't just get mad at someone who didn't, you know, someone on your team because they couldn't do it because you weren't the one to. I would take blame for it. Hey, I should have prepared you better, right? So
that's a leader right there.
Yeah, and then that's the next step now, right? That, you know, the individual sales were great. You know, it's been amazing. But if I really want to do what I want to do, it's gonna take more than just me. And I know that. So
going into individual sales, I mean, you are the top producer at Surge Realty. Obviously, we have a lot of good agents in the brokerage, you know, and then we got even team members in your team coming for your crown.
Yeah, they're trying. They're far.
So how do you feel, you know, do you even when you walk, do you even know, like, do you know, or are you like, you know what, I know I am that guy, or you're like,
Even before the numbers, I'll be honest, because I always educated myself on real estate, I never felt intimidated, right? Like, if someone came in and they're like, oh, I've sold X amount, right? Because they've been in the business for so many years. I didn't find that to be, oh my God, you're so much. But, you know, I didn't feel like that, right? I thought that I always came prepared. I always stay up to date with current market trends, right? Because just because you were doing something really well in the 80s or 90s or even 2 years ago, real estate is always changing. So if you're not constantly learning, in my opinion, you're falling behind. So I never felt intimidated about that. And the number stuff started kind of happening more after I got with Surge. I mean, I wasn't celebrating much more about my numbers when I was working at different brokerages. I was just head down, focused. I didn't even know where my numbers kind of stacked up against other people. I just never checked. It was other people that were telling me, right? Like, people who would want to have meetings with me, lenders, and they're like, well, you know, we checked and you're doing X amount, which is a number X in Houston, or like your top 3 in this category. And I was like, I didn't know that, right? So thank you for telling me that. And it feels good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's nice to have good numbers, but it's not like I'm not driven by, you know, hey, I need to hit X amount, or, you know, it's a failure of a year.
What are some of those? So give me some stats. Can you draw me some stats? I mean, you play basketball, you sports guy. Draw me some stats. You know, people want to know, like, Zain, what you putting up? Because they don't see the numbers. And there's no board, you know, with HAR that shows every agent's numbers, right? Like, you don't know exactly who are the legit top 100 agents in Houston.
No, that's
so, like, just to give an idea, because I ain't gonna lie, like when I was an agent, you know, in my early career, I didn't know about numbers neither.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what was good in producing.
That's the thing. I don't know what was good.
I don't even know it was 3 million total sales, 5 million.
And social media is kind of deceiving because you sometimes see people, you think like those people are probably doing crazy numbers, and then you find out.
And then you find out what's
It's like, I haven't told anything. Everyone's kind of just, I don't know.
Go ahead, drop me some stats real quick on some humble tips.
Yeah, I want to say last 3 years, I've definitely passed over 50-ish million. I don't know exactly what the number is today, but it's above 52, 53 million. Last 36 months in sales volume. I don't know about leases, almost close to 100 leases.
So there was a stat you dropped me. You was like 25.
Yeah. So when I turned 25, which was last year, like in July of last year.
Yeah.
So when I turned 25, I just crossed 25 million. And then now, 2 months ago, I turned 26. And I almost crossed 50 million. I was at like 49. Now I'm
trying to double.
So yeah, from 25 to I almost had a $25 million a year. I would say closer to 20 million.
Are you single?
$25
million, a lot of money.
In a happy relationship.
There you go. Ladies, he's taken, ladies, he's taken. That's awesome, man. But man, kudos to you, bro. That's awesome. That's why I like to talk about the numbers, because a lot of people don't know numbers.
Yeah.
And for those probably coming for you, trying to, you know, or to get inspired.
Yeah.
They need to hear that. So what are some of your goals going into 2024? You know, we have a few more months before the year is over in 2023. Now 2024 is coming. Like,
right.
What do we expect?
Honestly, I'm a very quarterly goal type of guy. I don't like to do 1 year goals. I pivot a lot, right? Because you don't know what you don't know. Things change. So I go by quarters. I know Q1 of next year, I really want to get, you know, double down on the builders, on the ground up construction work. My one-on-one sales with personal clients will always be there, right? Anyone that's referred to me, I'll always take care of them. But I Atlas and, you know, with the development stuff is my focus because, in my opinion, that's the best way to grow the brand, because me having a one-on-one client, I can't help my team, right? Cool, I have a client, we'll close a deal, or we sold one, whatever, right? But when I can, you know, help builders, you know, have a community, and that I can tell them, hey, it's backed by, you know, the Atlas Group, right? Like you have all the backing of all of us, you know, one of us is all of us, you know? That I think speaks volumes, right? And, you know, it's been working, and, you know, we've hosted some pretty good events that have led to a lot of, you know, recognition, and I think that's, from a brand standpoint, it's that. And then, like I said, every quarter I want to challenge myself, right? I definitely want to buy a commercial deal, right? I'm in the market for that. I buy a lot of residential as well, but, you know, kind of been doing that. So I'm always like, hey, what can I just like to keep challenging myself, right? So something that scares me, which, you know, commercials like this, you know, boogeyman, right? And I've helped clients buy it. I'm like, you know, why can't I do it, right? So, you know, there's a lot of distressed office out there, so.
We got big things coming.
It's gonna be a busy year.
So last question, any advice, suggestion you give to anybody watching?
Yeah, I mean, consistency, right? I think social media makes it seem like it happens overnight. It's really not. You gotta be really passionate, man. You gotta be passionate. There's a million ways to make money. So I think that's if that's the only thing that's driving you, then I wouldn't do it, right? If you truly enjoy it, and that's another thing about real estate, there's so many avenues too. It's not like you have to sell real estate. You can develop it, you can do fix and flips. I meet people who you wouldn't believe the type of numbers they make doing stuff that nobody even like cares about in real estate. So I mean, consistency, that's the big one, right? Like I see people get into the business, you know, post and then drop off. And then they're fully gone for a while. So they, you know, this is a marathon, right? So if you need to take some time off to, you know, get your head back in the game, it's a week over week thing. I don't like to say day over day because sometimes you need a day off, right? But you got a week over week, you got to be growing. And even just one step you're going to look back like 2-3 years and you'll be like, holy crap, I did all this in 3 years. And then, like I said, continue to educate yourself because it's a competitive industry. So if you're not first to market, you're gonna get beat. So
well, I appreciate you taking the time, because I know time, there's everything. And man, I learned a lot from you. I hope anybody that's watching, learned a lot, got inspired by my man Zain. He's doing big things. If you don't know him now, I promise you will know who he is. He is doing big things. I appreciate you coming and chatting with me. And if you want to share the story, follow, comment below. We are here to provide you with any information regarding real estate, even if it's commercial side. So yeah, please follow. Goodbye.
Yeah.
This.